Anticipation.
Oh, hey, all right, so, hey, folks, we got another minute here before we get started and go on our broadcast, but anybody know what bears would be without bees? Ears. Ears. That's right. Yeah. Why did the bicycle fall over? It was too tired. Molly. Killing me here, man. I'm trying to get these.
Did you get these from Alexa?
Pardon me?
Did you get these from Alexa?
I don't know Alexa.
She tells jokes like that.
Oh, she does?
Yeah.
Might have to meet her. So, anybody order food online? You guys do that? I just tried that the other day. I ordered a chicken and an egg. I'll let you know what comes first.
That's sad.
Just lighten up the mood here, folks. Just lighten up the
That had
mood.
to come from one of your kids.
Kids have their jokes like they're not PG. Trust me. They're older now. So, how are we doing, Molly?
You're good.
Oh, we're good. Well, hey everybody. My name's Ted O'Brien. I'm the executive director here at the Breakers. Any new residents here? Welcome, welcome, welcome. You're the only one. You're going to come up and do a speech today. I'm just teasing. I'm teasing. So, welcome to our community, and we hope that you're able to really enjoy everything that we have to offer. Sitting among you are some amazing people with some great stories, great careers, great experiences, and it's just a joy to be able to serve all of you. We also have some special guests from our home office. As many of you may or may not be aware, Senior Lifestyle Management Company is located and headquartered here in Chicago, and we support out of that office over 120 plus communities throughout the country. Ours is one of them. So we have some guests here. I'd like to introduce them. This is Abe Contreras. He's our Vice President of Information Technology for the whole company. He keeps all the technology and support. He's the big honcho when it comes to making sure that the team's doing what they're supposed to do. We have Scott Thompson over here. He's a security IT specialist. We got Tyler Fuller and Jesse Martinez. And whenever my staff have issues with computers or connectivity issues, and they're in a panic because we got to get a report in or something's due within the next 3 minutes, they're the ones we call. And so they're the ones that help us out of those real tough situations. But I'd like to thank them for coming out. They want to be a part of the communities and make sure they see what it is that we do every day, right? So thank you, gentlemen. Appreciate you being here. So let me start off with just kind of going over some of the things we've done since last month, and the list is pretty long, so I hope not to bore you. Some things that are pretty noticeable, some things that are not so noticeable from a standpoint of visual, but I know that we've been plagued with a lot of hot water issues, and hopefully, it hasn't impacted all of you, but for those that it has impacted, again, I know it's a very frustrating experience. We want to make sure that we're resolving the issue from the standpoint of not just putting a Band-Aid over it, but making sure it's a long-term fix. We believe we've been able to correct the widespread issue that's been impacting so many of you. We still have some isolated issues in some areas that we need to still work on. So our plumber's here every day, I'm thinking that he's probably a member of our team almost, just because he's here every day. But, we're not going to stop until we get this fixed for everybody and it's not an issue anymore for anyone. So appreciate everybody's patience on that, but we're still working on that. And if anybody's also noticed, you've been out to the Circle Drive, we have that beautiful new awning out there now. Isn't that nice? It really sets it off and just, makes a nice impression when you drive up to the community. They did a great job. I think they installed that Saturday and in pretty windy conditions. Joe said one of the team members that was hanging on to it almost flew up. So, hopefully it doesn't do that. They secured it pretty well. So, we've also done some work in the back courtyard area with landscaping. We've also done some back gate repair so that that is secure, and some of the panels that were back there that needed to be fixed. We also have on the 28th of this month, we should be having the back gate to access the park in the back. We should have a keypad installed. So anybody that has a key, it will be, you're not going to be able to need it anymore. So we will have an access code that we will give to you. Now, we may change this code monthly, we may change this code quarterly, just to make sure that, we're limiting, those that know how to access the back courtyard. But this will eliminate the need for a key, okay? And, that's probably been one of our biggest challenges, is that over the years, the keys have not worked well. And, so you'll be able to access getting out, access getting in. And, hopefully that will be a huge benefit to all of you that want to use the city park out back. We've also done some elevator work. So that was pretty recent, getting that in. We've also ordered an additional, what we call an SDI board. That's what caused the one elevator to be shut down for over a month, was that we'll call it the motherboard, if you will, because everything's about technology today, fried out, and it was a very outdated motherboard, so it literally had to be rebuilt from scratch. So we bought an extra one, just in case, okay? Just to be a little more proactive in our ability to make sure that we can manage these issues. How many people swim? Pool's open.
I was there last night.
She was there last night. I noticed a little water displacement. Did you do some cannonballs in there?
It was very
Okay.
steamy when you walked in.
Well, did you like it?
And I loved all those lights
Oh,
put
good.
in. They're all out now.
They're all out.
It's very dark in there. Very
Oh.
romantic.
Well, okay. All right, what happens in the pool stays in the pool area. We're not going to talk about that, okay? I also want to announce that, with the new awning that we put out front, okay, we were waiting for that to be installed this Thursday from the hours of 4 a.m. How many are up at 4 a.m.? Oh, you guys, God bless you all. My goodness. So from 4 a.m. till about 9 a.m., we are replacing the carpeting out there, okay? So there will not be any access in and out of the circle door, and even the sliding door. You're going to have to either exit by the retail area there, if you're going to exit into the courtyard. But it should not impact too many people, we hope. But it will definitely give it a nice fresh look as you come into the building, and as your guests come in also. We've also cleaned the windows. I don't know if anybody's looked up when you've been in the dining room, but how amazingly clean the atrium windows are. The unfortunate thing is, I don't know if anybody's noticed this, but just over the weekend we had yet another window break. And I got to tell you, folks, those are not easy to replace. They're not cheap, in the tune of $15,000 for one window. Okay, and it is a custom built. They are tempered, 3 layers. It looks awful right now. We do have an area that's kind of secured off there. We're going to continue to have that. I don't have any concerns that the window will fall in, but you never know, right? So if it's hit by another object, then it's certainly, there's that potential there. So, and then as we called the architectural glass company to get an estimate on that when they're coming out, I was informed yet another window broke yesterday in the pool. What? So we are, just so you know, as a management company, we have the right to enter your apartment in the event that, it's a building maintenance issue. We are going to go apartment to apartment on this side of the building and this pool side of the building to check every single apartment window to make sure that there is, and please, if you have something that's sitting outside on the windowsill, don't do that. I mean, a window's one thing, but could you imagine if that fell on someone's head? Okay, it would kill them. So it's living in a high rise, folks, is you know, it's a wonderful thing with the exceptional views that we have out here, but it's also a dangerous thing, and we ask you to be responsible as tenants, you know, in this community so that others are safe. So, but we will schedule those repairs. It may take a couple months, just to let you all know. That's just from the standpoint of fabricating the glass and scheduling a time where the weather is appropriate to get those installed. But we want to get those installed fairly soon. We've also been working diligently on getting all the smoke detectors installed in the apartments, and hopefully it hasn't impacted you negatively when we go in to do that. It's a really quick process. We are going apartment to apartment to make sure all your outlets are you know, appropriate, they're safe, making sure that there aren't any major issues with light fixtures and things like that. We just need to do a complete thorough once over the building so that we know what's what and what we need to repair, okay? And we're doing this for you. We've had a couple of incidents also, folks, that I want you to be aware of where, again, we've talked about rental insurance and the importance and how much we encourage you to carry rental insurance. It's not an expensive thing, but it certainly saves you a lot of money. We've had 2 incidents occur recently in the past couple of months with both tenants not having rental insurance, okay? One of them, the costs were around $5,000, $6,000. The other, it's going to be in excess of $30,000. Okay? Now, we want to obviously make every effort to make sure that the work is done, right? Because it's our asset. We own the building, and we want to make sure that those that are living in the building, you know, have a safe place to live. But we're not responsible for paying that. You are, okay? Without insurance, $30,000 is a lot of money. $5,000 is a lot of money. Versus paying $100 or $150 a year for rental insurance. It's well worth your investment to pay for rental insurance, folks. And if these things aren't paid by the tenant that caused those damages, we absorb that cost. And that cost gets assessed at the end of the year to determine what your rate increase is going to be. So either you pay for it one way or another, you know. The insurance is just a nice added, you know, assurance that, you know, things will be covered in the event. And we get it, you know, accidents happen, folks, we get it. But we really encourage you to carry the insurance, okay? We're going to work, and I've talked with Rich and David about this, you know, we're going to work with trying to get some local insurance brokers out here. And I know both your board, you know, can certainly point you in the right direction if you don't have insurance right now, so you don't have to wait. But we really want to get you guys set up so that you're not in a situation where you're going to be in, you know, finding catastrophe financially, you know, and put us in a position where we're paying for it. And if you can't pay for it, then, you know, everybody else is paying for it. We don't want that to happen. So we're trying to be cost conscious here. The other things I want to mention is that, you know, there's been a lot of talk about bed bugs in the community. We do have a very tight protocol. As of today, knock on wood, we are 100% bed bug free. Okay? So, and it's a tough thing, you know, if you have bed bugs, that doesn't mean that you're a dirty person. Please understand that, okay? Don't look at others that may have had or have bed bug issues as a dirty person. It's, you know, these things are opportunistic little creatures. They'll hop on you, and you can get them on the subway, you can get them on a bus, you can get them on an Uber, anywhere you can possibly think of, you can get them. You can get them just brushing shoulders with someone. That's why I kind of stand away from everybody, even my wife and kids. No, I'm kidding. So, but you know, it's one of those things that, you know, our policy is one that I know it seems strict. I know it seems very cruel at times for those that are impacted, you know, that we have to isolate the individual, we have to isolate that apartment, because what we don't need is for that person that's been infected with the bed bugs to walk around our common area where they jump on you and they jump on others, or they sit on furniture, and now we've got a widespread issue in the building. And it is not cheap, let me tell you, it is not cheap treating these bed bugs, okay? So, and making sure that we get them out of the building. So, you know, we're going to do our best to keep a monitor on that, and we're going to make sure that we hopefully mitigate that from ever being a widespread issue in this community. If anyone were to ever have any issues in the community, we want to make sure that we attend to those issues. If it's a maintenance concern, we do have a system that we document all work orders, okay? I love the fact that you'll pull me aside. I love the fact that you'll grab Sean or Lewis or one of our servers and say, hey, I got an issue in my apartment. And their intentions are really good, you know, with wanting to say, hey, we'll get it fixed for you. But it slips their mind. You know, if they're in the midst of their production and working, and maybe I'm going to a meeting and try, I got a good memory. Don't ask my wife because she'll tell you different. But I do have a good memory, but sometimes it slips my mind. Call the front desk. Our concierge team is trained to make sure that they document any work orders, and that way we can prioritize what it is that we need to do each morning or each day to remedy whatever issues you might have in your community, okay? All right. Any questions for Ted? Oh, we got one. What do you got there?
Well, I liked, you know, the speech was very positive, and so has the messages. And in fact, it was so positive, I had a few questions, but they kind of got absorbed by your.
Well, we will extinguish your negative questions with positivity.
Yeah. But
Go ahead.
with the work orders, one of the things I saw is sometimes the concierge gets a whole line of people trying to, you know, deliver packages and give.
Yeah.
And I'm pretty sure they make those notes and get them in there, but that is something you might look at. You know, is there a faster staffing that you can do for that, or have somebody available at busy times? We're getting a lot of deliveries all through the day, which is a new occurrence. You know, this is something new where people shop online.
Yeah.
Which is why you've got all, I've had a couple of times where the mailroom was packed, we had to start checking it out. And the one small object that I could have picked up, because I got the notice, couldn't get the door open to reach it.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
you need to visualize how that may require a different procedure because it's new, you know, it's not standard. And with the work orders, besides, you know, the individual units, you might see a pattern of things that are that need an overall assessment.
Yeah, well, thank you for the comments, and I guess just kind of echo what you're saying here is that, you know, the front desk obviously isn't just taking work orders when you call or stop by. They are getting bombarded by every possible person. They're like everybody's flown a plane, right? You know, they're the air traffic controller of this community. All right, so they're looking at the small planes, the big planes, the ones that are coming in from Ohio and everywhere else, right? And they have to balance all of that and reshuffle and reprioritize every minute of the day based on what's going on. So thank you for acknowledging that, because it's true. Such a valuable asset for us to have, you know, a great team at the front desk. But, you know, be patient with them. If it's a work order and it's not like your bathtub's overflowing or, you know, there's water issues, wait when they have an opportunity. In terms of the packages, you're absolutely right. We are seeing, in not just our community, but all of our communities nationwide, we're seeing a lot more packages being delivered. Yeah, that's great. You keep the economy going. Thank you. But it puts a big load on us, you know, to make sure that, you know, we're logging in those packages, we're putting them in the package room, we're sorting those packages, you know, and then, you know, if you stop down and you want your package when it's not at a time where we can deliver the package, again, that's another anomaly that's thrown into the monkey wrench, or another variable that limits the capacity and the bandwidth of that concierge, the front desk. Okay, so just be patient with them. They're always juggling, you know, priorities, and what might be a priority to you may not be a priority to them right at that time. But, you know, you are important to them. We want to make sure that we were able to get what you need done. So thank you for that. Shirley, you were next.
Going back to what you said about the was that actually a case that happened where you mentioned the $30,000?
Just to repeat, so was the rental insurance issue in the most recent incidents that occurred, those were actual cases?
Okay. To understand, okay, and I know Dave and Rich is doing what they're doing, and that would be a great idea if we could get them in here, because I'm sure a lot of us have questions to ask, but, okay, if somebody floods and it goes into your apartment, it's up to me, the renter, the resident, to go after that person, and if there's no satisfaction in court or whatever, then...
Yeah. So if someone above you that is renting, and here's the, I guess, disadvantage of being in a high rise, right? If you're not on the top floor, you know, you got somebody living above you potentially. And they flood their apartment, and that water goes into your apartment and, you know, ruins this beautiful piece of art you have hanging on the wall, or your furniture, or the heirlooms that you brought in. We are not responsible for that, and that's very clearly articulated in your lease agreement. You absolutely, now if the tenant above you who caused that damage, okay, has insurance, they may or may not cover it, okay? But here's the reason why it's so important for you to have your own insurance. If you turn that over to your insurance company, and your insurance company says, yes, we will absolutely cover the claim, your insurance company will do all the work necessary to reclaim the dollars that your claim was from the person that caused the accident. It's like auto insurance, right? So just like automobile insurance, if you get hit by someone and they have no insurance, but you're insured, you're covered, right? So, and if they are insured, well, then you can make the decision, okay, if their insurance company is agreeable to pay what damage is incurred, then that's great. But if they're not, then, you know, you're left to your own means. So, great question. Yeah, yes, ma'am.
As the owner of this property, why can't you require your renters to have it?
Yeah, so
The condition of renting.
why can't we require residents to have it? And I thought that we could, and this is news to David and Rich, because I said that that's what the direction we were going to go. But it just literally last night, after consulting with our legal department, because our lease agreement, all of you signed our lease agreement, and in there it does stipulate, you know, that it's highly advised. For us to change that, you would have to re-sign a new lease agreement. The investors, you know, it's still in debate. We're trying to figure out some legal ways of potentially doing it to require it. But you know, it's may take a while. So as for now, all we can do is advise all of you to please consider it if you don't have it. If you have any questions, you know, ask. Okay, we'll get you in the right. We'll point you the right direction of the professionals that can help. Okay.
Okay, when you said packages,
Yes, ma'am.
I live next to C34C, and she was stuffed with a package in her doorknob.
Okay.
She's been gone.
Oh.
Why don't you take it back to the office? And I shook it, and it felt like pills.
Oh. Well, we don't deliver pills, so that's first and foremost. So.
Like I said,
So and we don't manage pills. So if anybody has like mail-in deliveries, I mean, we obviously don't open packages, but you know, we're not supposed to be managing pills from any pharmacy that's delivering. Generally, if you're ordering from like CVS and it's a delivery, we do not accept them. They
yeah,
go
but
directly
over
to the
mail,
door.
They'll put it in my door.
The
I mean,
Optimum RX people,
Correct,
the
I
mail
got
of
that.
things, sends you a mail package. It's a plastic package.
Yeah, that's
Okay.
the one
And it's
that's
all
on her-
sealed.
Yeah, it's
Okay.
on her doorknob.
Yeah.
Doesn't say pills or
Well,
anything.
you know, when we do our security checks, that should be something that we
Yeah, I
notice.
saw
so.
it yesterday
Okay.
when I got back from my vacation,
Okay.
and this morning it's still there.
Okay.
It's on her doorknob.
Glad it's not ice cream.
Okay, next
Agreed.
Next question,
Yeah.
you said insurance.
Yes.
Like I said, I'm on 34, and I had 3 times leak coming from the roof.
Yeah.
And TJ, before he left, I can call him night, morning, evening, night. He would be there
Yeah.
for me.
Yeah,
Now he's not here.
yeah, he's not here.
I know.
Well,
When we had the leak with the air conditioner, he was in my apartment. I said,
Yeah.
TJ.
yeah. Well, and I'm sorry that you had that experience. When we do have, and I'm glad nobody caused it, but even if it's something that we caused,
Yeah, he patched up the
we're
roof.
going to do what we can do to fix it, but if it damages your property, we're still not liable for
No,
that.
he did, but it was
Um,
irritating.
It is
I
irritating,
walked
and
to the hallway, to
Yeah.
the bathroom, in water.
yeah, that's not fun.
It
No,
woke you up.
it sure does. Well, I'm glad you're taking it lightly.
I
But,
do. I
yeah.
like to laugh.
Yeah, thank you. So, all right, one more question, sir. Oh, I'm sorry, Susan?
Hi, you were talking about lost packages. I think it's still a problem. Different people have asked for receipts for the work order. Last night, we were told at the meeting that work orders were lost over the last 2 weeks, and people need to resubmit them. So, I mean, that would have been good to put in that.
Who told you that?
Newsletter.
Yeah, who told you that?
I don't want to say, it was at the meeting.
That work orders were lost over the last 2 weeks?
Meals, I thought it was meals.
Somebody
I heard
said
that.
that.
I-
It was-
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was said.
I was not aware that we had
And
work
then,
orders.
the other thing about the insurance, I've had friends who've investigated this quite a bit. The insurance companies they've contacted have said, if it's not the fault of a resident, but it's the fault of the breakers is responsible.
Yeah, and again, I appreciate you contacting insurance companies, but they need to read your lease if you're gonna have them, state that. It's not true. Your lease clearly articulates it, that we are not responsible for your personal belongings.
So they actually have to state that.
It's in your lease agreement that you signed, and there's a reason for that, okay? Maybe the valuation of your personal property is worth $5,000, $10,000. Your neighbor, they could have a Picasso hanging on the wall that's priceless, right? There's no possible way we could have an insurance company that would insure your personal property. We can't do it, we can't afford those premiums, and if we did, the premiums would be so astronomically high, your rent would have to be adjusted accordingly so we could pay them, so you'd be paying probably $5,000-6,000 a month, So it's much better to get your own personal insurance to protect your assets, the things that you own, the things that are important to you, because we don't know what the valuation of those things are. So, sir, right back.
Oh,
What is
Sorry.
the possibility of adding an addendum?
guys.
No, I'm sorry. Pardon me?
How was the possibility of an addendum added onto your lease stating that
Yeah.
if you don't have renter's insurance and you are responsible
We
for
already said that.
anything that happens other than that?
Yeah, our leases say that right now, as it is. It says that, if you don't have rental, you're responsible. You're all responsible for your guests. If they walk in the community, whether it's a family member or someone you met off the street, and they come in and they break something, of course, we're gonna ask them to leave, but you're responsible for that. So, you're responsible, this is your community, but it's also everybody that's sitting around you, it's your community too. So, we wanna make sure that you guys understand there is some accountability on your part that, you're responsible for. So, last question for you.
For me?
Yep.
Oh, thank you.
Well, there was a lot of people that had hands up before you, I'm
Yes,
sorry.
okay.
So,
I wanted to mention that about the bed bugs.
bed bugs,
Yes,
yes.
they should take care of that
Yeah.
and clean that because, the person who has bed bugs
Mhm.
maybe should be isolated for 1 or 2 weeks so that they clean up.
Yeah.
Because you are in the elevator and we sometimes are very tight.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
you're not
So just as a general reminder, the bed bugs, right now we're clear. We were 100% clear in the community that we're aware of, okay? Which is great, right? So we do have a protocol. We do require people to be in isolation. They stay in their apartment for 2 weeks, okay? So from the day we treat to the day we recheck, it's 2 weeks. That's the earliest opportunity that someone can leave their apartment, okay, and enjoy the common space that we all have here that most people enjoy. So folks, thank you so much for your time today. I'm hopeful that we're going to bring some exciting news next month as far as, some great accomplishments. Please continue to give those tokens to the team members that, you feel did something incredible and exceptional when it comes to service. They love those tokens and they love getting those prizes that we have to offer. So, don't give them to me, but give them to the front line. All right. So, of course, I didn't get one token yet. Anyway, so nobody's doing that. So. All right. Next up is Donna. Oh, Donna. All right. All right. Thank you, team. Thank you, everybody. Appreciate it.
Good morning, everyone. I'm Donna Pennycamp. I am the business office manager. Welcome. Let's see if this is working. Can you hear me? Yep. Okay, my mom always said I didn't know how to whisper, so sometimes I don't even need the mic. Puts me in a good place here. I just wanted to alert everyone that we have 2 new members joining us at the concierge desk. We have, and please welcome them when you see them, we have Jasmine and we also have Michelle. Both will be working primarily the 3 to 11 shift. And then I just wanted to circle back a little bit on the package deliveries. The concierge staff is instructed not to leave any packages outside of your door. We did implement a while ago a permission to enter and leave packages just inside your door if you are not home. That is based on a permission slip that you have signed and returned to the front desk, and then we have logged that information so that they know when they're making deliveries who has given them permission to just leave packages inside their door. So any packages that are left outside the door, I think would likely be left by an outside delivery service. We do have Amazon deliveries coming into the building, pharmacy deliveries coming into the building, flower deliveries. So if there is a package that is left outside of a door and you notice that, you can bring it to our attention, and I will follow up on that if it's a package that was not delivered by a pharmacy, a florist, a grocery delivery. But just so everyone is clear, the concierge team has been instructed not to leave packages outside anyone's door unless requested to do so by the resident. Any questions for me? Yes?
On the delivery of the packages, sometimes they leave it right by the doorway. If you're not looking, you can trip over. Is it possible to have them move it more toward a wall, away from the doorway itself? When they deliver?
Sure, I can ask them to put it against a wall. Yeah, Rich.
As far as the work order situation at the front desk, could we have a little pad of work order forms that people could fill out? But what happens some of the times, it's happened to me a couple of times, is the representative down there will take a little note on a piece of paper, and it usually is scrambled on a bunch of other things, and then it gets forgotten to be put in later on. So if we had a form that could be filled out, that could be less there, they would then see it and could put it into your system.
So Rich is saying that he is requesting if we had a work order form for you all to complete at the front desk, for you to complete and submit to the front desk to be entered. We can try it. I mean, when they're making I will say this, I know that while I've been covering the front desk, I do get a lot of calls for people checking on their work orders that were submitted. And I would say 9 times out of 10, those work orders have been submitted. Now, while I'm not in the maintenance or housekeeping department, I do know that those departments prioritize work orders. So if you have, let's say, a picture hanging or something, and I know that that's important to you, but a clogged toilet or a a leak somewhere is going to trump your picture hanging, unfortunately. And unfortunately, we have had a great deal of those types of situations. So just FYI. But I am happy to, we can certainly, we can create maybe a form and put it at the front desk, and we'll see how it goes.
There is a permanent record then that you.
Well, I don't know that that is going,
No.
it's right along the same lines as them writing it down. So that piece of paper, when you turn it in, is not a permanent record, Rich. It is then submitted to the front desk. And one of the reasons why so on that note, and I appreciate you telling me this, but this is kind of piggybacking on some of the other issues we've had at the front desk, where people want their family members to leave them things at the front desk, or other residents leaving things for other residents at the front desk. That front desk is Grand Central Station.
Yeah.
It is staffed 24/7, 3 different shifts. On any given day, you'll see myself or another director at that front desk, because we're filling in, the front desk got pulled away to do something else. The front desk is also, you request the front desk to help you with certain things. I had someone at the front desk asking the front desk to edit a memo or edit a Word doc for him and then print it up. The front desk, while you're saying that's a permanent record, things that you leave, that's why we ask you, do not ask your family members to bring things to the front desk for you to pick up. We will not hold medication, we will not hold flowers, groceries. There's too much happening at the front desk. It is in your best interest, if someone wants you to have something, to give it to you directly. If you want another resident to have something, you need to give it to them directly. And this is for your benefit. This is, too much is happening at the front desk. So I would ask you to respect the fact that the front desk is being pulled in all different directions. I know Brittany, Heart of Gold, is often doing well above the call of duty. So please, be respectful that the front desk loves you, wants to assist you, but there are limits. Tom.
I didn't get a token or a statement for July yet, and I'm
Right.
worried.
Don't worry. Statements will be delivered this week. So statements are produced and delivered on or around the 24th. We are at the 25th.
Oh, okay.
Okay? So,
Sorry.
Sherry.
2 questions.
Sure?
What is the cutoff time for delivery of packages every day?
They are not to, I asked them not to deliver, I think 8:30 is where they stop generally.
Definitely 9. I mean,
Pardon me?
Because I've had packages at 8:45. That's why I was curious as to what the cutoff time is.
Yeah.
There, but, okay. Number 2, I have an issue with, and I have to call down to the desk periodically, especially on all the new people coming in, and I understand that. I'm talking about delivery. The new people, the security who deliver, if they can allow maybe a minute and a half to allow the person to come to the door, open it, and get their packages, and not be so quick as to open the door and put that package in. A lot of times, because I'm in a wheelchair and I'm coming from my bedroom and all that jazz, and they're so quick to open the door, and I have to tell them, please, I said, we're older, we kind of move around a little slower. Please give us a minute or 2 to get to the door.
So, and I appreciate that. One thing, I've done package delivery myself. If you are on your way to the door, can you give a little holler?
I do.
Okay.
But, the bedroom and the front door, I'm coming, who is it? I mean, if they can't hear, but I can tell by how quickly the knock is and how quickly that door opens, that they're not allowing what I think is the reasonable amount of time, like about a minute and a half.
Okay.
And don't be so quick to open it. I can tell.
Do you have you allowed them permission to enter if you're not there?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, but that's why I say, what is the delivery time period? Because sometimes I'll wait, 8 o'clock, 8:30, or whatever like that, but
So understand that
And 9
package
times
deliveries,
Donna, I come down
okay,
and get my packages.
yeah.
9 times out of 10, I come down and get my
Great.
packages, yeah.
So again, I will clarify that not just the concierge that sits at the desk, but what we refer to as concierge on legs that moves about the building. They're trying to make package deliveries. If we have a flood anywhere in the community, if we have an emergency anywhere in the community, they are pulled off tasks. That is the priority, not packages. So they will endeavor to make package deliveries without going too late into the evening because you all want your packages. So they will try to do that. That is one reason why we also implemented the permission to leave your packages just inside the door if you're not home, because we were getting a lot of feedback from residents that wanted their packages. Well, it's very difficult if we can't leave the packages outside your door. How do we get them to you? Because you all are very busy with your activities around the community. So I appreciate what you're saying, and but know that they're pulled off task, and so they're endeavoring to make those deliveries. I'm going to take 2 more questions because we have other people that want to speak. Barbara.
Real quick, Donna, does the front desk include security in the circle? You know,
We don't have security, we have concierge on legs.
Okay. Concierge on legs.
That's right. So what's your question, Barbara,
Well, does,
about the circle?
well, we, on the bus, when
Mhm.
we're coming back on our bus, or sometimes we can't get out on time and there's
Right.
a schedule. And because of cars being parked in the way,
Mhm.
and then of course,
Yeah,
there's the whole issue of ambulances.
right.
Who helps with that? Is that your desk? Is that the front desk?
Yes, we would help with that. You know who's a bigger help to that? Please tell your family and friends not to park in the Circle
Thank
Drive.
you,
Yes.
thank you.
Okay, last question.
I have been charged several times with deliveries of
Yes.
packages, and I never have any delivery.
You're talking about meal deliveries, correct?
Yes,
Yes, and I know that Kale has worked with you on that, and that issue has been
it
resolved.
has been 2
Yeah,
hours at least.
and-
I know they delivered to the N letter,
Yep.
which is next to me.
Yeah.
I'm the M and she's the N.
Sure,
And I know they delivered to this person.
Right.
But not to me.
Sure.
And I have been charged several times.
right. And Kale has resolved that with you, so I appreciate that. Okay, one more question.
This is just a quickie.
Sure.
I noticed that frequently the lost and found box is not at the lost and found place. For example, I lost my hat. If the person ever tried to return it to me, the lost and found box was not there.
Yeah.
Because I just hope that the staff who are taking the lost and found might put that box back.
I am not aware that any staff is taking the lost and found, and I know that I was at the front desk when you came up with this concern. And the lost and found box was there after I checked, so I'm not sure. I'm not sure, maybe the person that had your hat wasn't aware of where the lost and found box was.
It really
But
wasn't.
that's the end of my time, and I'm gonna turn it over to Avery.
Hello all, I am Avery, the Human Resources Manager. We have welcomed a couple new faces to the team in maintenance and concierge and in the kitchen. So any new faces you see, please say hello. I'm currently recruiting for a Saturday bus driver and for an as-needed housekeeper to help fill in whenever our lovely housekeepers take their well-earned time off. And I've been spending a lot of time supporting other departments in the past month so that we keep things running as smoothly as possible. Does anyone have any questions for me? Yes.
Just real quick, if you could reiterate to employee or to the employees, the staff, that they should not be asking for coins.
Mhm.
That's happened a couple times, and I don't want to do names, but just
Yes, so I did address it with the, all the directors, that they make sure that they communicate to their teams that team members should not be asking directly for the tokens. They are to be given freely by the residents. Any other questions? Thank you all.
Hello, my name is William, the Director of Operations. One exciting thing I want to share with you guys, July 25th at 1 o'clock, I am starting a fire and safety class. July 25th at 1 o'clock. I'll have memos sent out. One thing I want to bring up is, I know we keep saying put in work orders, put in work orders. If a work order is in too long and you feel like it's not getting addressed, come directly to me. I have a work phone number, I will give it out. I answer my phone at home, all types of hours. Just come directly to me so we can get the problem addressed. I will be taking 5 questions. Do anyone have any questions for me?
Regarding work orders, of course, the corporate safety persons have left already. Eventually, I can see the need for having a computer entry like they have with the visitors to put in work orders, because then you'll have them. Of course, you could have the problem with people putting the same one in, a couple of times forgetting they did it. But I think you need a upgrade in your communication system for maintenance and building up. You're nodding your head a little bit. And I know that could be expensive, something that I think would be really useful to getting these things out to where they're visible to the people who need to do that.
So we're in the process of getting.
What was the question?
The question was the work order system. Just if the work orders repeatedly, that we need to prop up preventive maintenance, and if there's a way that we can kind of get more productive in clearing out repeated work orders. So we're in the process of getting Wi-Fi updates. That's why the IT team is here. At other communities that I worked at, we did have tablets, we did have desktops for the assistants and whatnot. So we're really looking into more people with access to be more productive on preventive maintenance. But good point.
I have a question for you.
Sure.
For a long time, they started to clean the windows outside the apartments, and they had these big ropes hanging there, but they never cleaned the windows. The windows are still dirty. Do you know what I mean?
Yes, so if your window was skipped, I don't know if you just.
I'm on the 11th floor.
You're on the 11th floor?
Yes.
Can we sidebar after the meeting, and then that's something
Sure.
we can look into? Okay. 3 more.
Thank you.
Yeah, I just wanted to say that there was a comment made about a comment last night about work orders. I'm the one who made that comment. And I have no trouble with people using my name publicly if I'm making a public presentation, which I did last night. The point I was making, I think was based on our meeting on Friday, is that there may be work orders that fall through the cracks, because we were talking about some work issues I knew of which were not in the documentation. It could have been that the work orders were never placed, but I was the one who made the comment based on, again, I think a conversational, that especially around the water issues, if you're not getting results within a certain period of time, to reissue them. Now, maybe you're saying something different now. I think you're saying about the same thing. And I think even though I made that presentation before we got the memo from Christina, I think she sort of implies the same thing if you read the communication this morning, that to submit, make sure you resubmit work orders if necessary. I just want to say that if I'm making a public statement, I have no problems with people referencing me by name. I feel confident enough that whether I'm right or wrong, I can take the heat.
Thank you. Yes.
We had another question last night about when somebody comes in from work and does some work and leaves a tag on the door. They don't know what was done.
Correct.
So can we get them to just write down a quick thing on there, what they did, like replaced the smoke detector or did something that did just, not a whole explanation, but a quick thing on those things. Said, I was in here for what reason, work order or whatever.
Water.
Yeah, that sounds reasonable.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Thank you all.
Thank you.
Hi, I'm Liz Villalobos. I'm the Director of Housekeeping here at the Breakers. I just have a couple announcements I'd like to make as far as shampooing in the community. And I have 2 new associates in my department. There's Jorge, who is a part-time houseman / carpet shampooer, and Laverne, who Cal was nice enough to let me steal from the dining room. She had 27 years experience in housekeeping. Anybody that has had her has given great feedback on how well she performs. So July 2nd, we're gonna have the showroom shampooed. And on July 9th, the video room, the game room, and the conference room. Right now, anybody who has Lilia as a housekeeper, she's going to be out for some time. I am trying to find somebody to replace her temporarily. That's been a challenge. The other housekeepers are taking on her apartments, so those apartments are getting done primarily in the afternoon hours. Are there any questions for me? Hi, Barb.
Hey, Liz, can you make 18 a priority for spot cleaning on the rug
I think, actually, yes.
in the hallway?
Yes, ma'am.
Thank you, it's been pretty gross.
He's been working his way down. I can't remember exactly which floors he's doing today, but I'll take a look at that.
Thank you.
Any other questions for me? You guys have been great. Thank you so much.
I'll just hold on to this. Hi, my name's Kao. Most of you probably have met me. I'm down in the dining room, dining services manager. Antonio is not feeling well today, so he's not here. So if you have any questions about menu or food, I would just wait until Antonio's back tomorrow. Come down anytime and ask to speak to him. I don't have many answers to those. I would just be passing those questions along. Just a few notes with dining. Next Thursday is the 4th, so we'll be having brunch that day. We'll be sending out those memos with the menu on the back. No later than Monday. Hopefully we'll get those out to you earlier. So just a reminder, breakfast will be 7:30 until 9 that day, and then we'll have brunch from 11 to 3. No meal service or anything like that. You can still do delivery and pickup during those meal times. And yeah, so that should be pretty easy. It'll be kind of, if you've been here before, it'll be the pretty standard kind of cookout style menu for the 4th of July. So keep that in mind. A note that we have done a slight change to meal pickup. If you are ordering meals and coming down to pick them up, you may have noticed that we now will go and grab the meal for you. We were just having some issues of some confusion with the way the apartment numbers were written down, things like that, and some meals were being picked up by others. Instead of 26E, they were picking up 26D, things like that. So just keep that in mind. Come to the host stand or have your caregivers come down to the host stand. They'll talk to the host. We'll grab the meal for them, and it's all set. So in the topic of server tokens, I know that's come up. If you do have any of my servers asking for a server token, feel free to let myself or one of my supervisors know directly. I would like to know who that is, just so I can directly address it. I have mentioned it to the entire team that that's something that should be freely given, not asked for, but if it's still a problem, I want to make sure that I'm nipping that in the bud as early as I can. And I know there has been some comments, some people have come to me and said that they're not necessarily comfortable giving the token at the table to the server. If you're not comfortable doing that, but you still want to show your appreciation to the server, feel free to stop by the host stand, talk to the supervisor or myself, whoever's available. You can give that token, let us know which server it's for or what table you were at. We can make sure that that server gets that token. That way it doesn't seem like anybody's playing favorites or anything like that if that's what you're worried about. So we can take care of that for you. And last but not least, like Donna had said, we're gonna be sending out those statements soon. If you have any issues with dining charges, if you pass it to Donna, she just sends it over because I have to take care of all of those. So if you want to reach out to me directly today for dinner, or once we go downstairs, I'll make sure the host stand has some. I will drop off some of my business cards that have my office number and my email. You can contact me directly, let me know what the issues are. Hopefully there won't be too many, but as I'm, getting into the swing of things and getting used to the charges and going through all of them, there might be some that slip through the cracks. As I get better at it, hopefully that gets less, but stop by, get one of those business cards and reach out to me directly, and hopefully I can take care of it right away. Does anybody have any other questions?
Yes, there's been a question for those of us who eat breakfast late about vacuum cleaners. I talked to you directly before the last management meeting, and I just want to clarify that we need to know what's going on so that rather than vacuum cleaners chasing us out, that we know what's what.
Sure, I'll talk to Sean and Vicky. As you know, most of the time I'm here later in the day to cover dinner. Sometimes I'm here a little earlier if I can swing that, but it's kind of their domain for breakfast. I'll talk to them and make sure that we have a set time of this is the time that we are kind of asking people to evacuate so that we can get in there, clean the dining room and reset for lunch. I want to say that it's around 11:45 is the time that we do ask people to start heading out. 10:45. Sorry, 10:45. A little, came from the West Coast. My time sometimes gets a little mixed up. But
That's okay, but just so you know, it's 10:30 that vacuums are coming on.
Okay. Yeah, I've talked to them. I know we've also had a lot of our dinner servers going into breakfast, so there might be some miscommunication there or lost communication. I'll make sure that everyone knows across the board. I'll talk to dinner servers, that way if they do come on to breakfast, they know. So, yes.
Well, two things I just want to mention. With this token thing, when it first started, I think the staff were overexcited about it. I think so that's why, I think it's kind of calmed down and they're appreciating how it's run. The other thing is, you were talking about, menus and food. I've had a problem, it comes up every now and then with the milk being spoiled.
Okay.
It's either the age or they're not keeping it refrigerated for breakfast.
Okay.
So because that's also a health problem.
Right.
And I don't think I'm the only one that noticed if the milk is too sour to drink.
Sure.
So I do want that, that's also a list.
Yeah.
So you might want to check how they're doing expiration date. Well, expiration dates and if it's kept properly refrigerated, because they're putting it in those urns, but it has to be from a cold place that they put it in.
Right.
So this might just be a process system, not necessarily a menu.
Yeah. Absolutely. She was talking about the milk possibly not being kept cold enough or going past its expiration date. I will pass that on and make sure that they're double checking that, make sure that the kitchen and my servers, because both of them do, kind of intermingle who takes care of that. So I'll make sure that everybody across the board is aware that that's kind of come up. So thank you for letting me know. Yes.
Yeah, you mentioned servers,
Mhm.
I mean the supervisor, plural.
Yes.
Who are those supervisors?
So for the morning, you have Vicky and Sean.
Right.
They have offsetting off days, so at least one of them should be there at all times. Right now, Vicky's she's coming back from vacation. Sean was on vacation, so we should even out now. And then in the evening, Elizabeth and Erlene are the supervisors. Tyvon's kind of our floater, so if neither of them are available, he does act as a supervisor. For dinner, the best way to tell is they have the white shirt with the vest. So if they have the vest on, they're a supervisor. Tyvon wears it all the time, but he still does, he's capable of answering questions or helping you out as a supervisor. So those 3 for dinner, and then the 2 for in the morning. And Sean and Vicky also handle lunch as well. So.
Okay, so the ones for dinner are the ones that you mentioned and no others, right?
Correct.
Thank you.
Yes.
I have a question.
1 second, let me get to.
Is there any way we can get to meet the behind-the-scenes staff?
In the kitchen?
In the kitchen.
I know Antonio is still working on getting like a kitchen tour, which would include meeting the staff and things like that. It just kind of happened that right around this time we've had a lot of vacations and things like that, so he wants to make sure that we're fully prepared and fully staffed so that when we take you guys through that we have the best staff going. So I'll take your question next.
Yes, thank you. I was going to ask you, why are dogs permitted in the dining area?
I'll have Christina answer that question, and we are running low on time, so Christina's going to take over, but I will be there this evening, so feel free to snag me. If I'm not out in the dining room, I'm probably putting the menus together in the back. Just have a supervisor or server come grab me, and I can come meet you at your table if you have any other questions, okay?
Thank you. So dogs are permitted in the dining room because dogs that we have in the community are permitted by the Americans with Disabilities Act. So these dogs are service dogs, and we cannot stop these dogs from being in the dining room.
What kind of service dogs? Because
They're service dogs, that's all I'm gonna say.
They seem perfectly fine. They are not
There's
even
more
dogs.
than just a seeing eye dog, okay? That's all we're gonna say. These are service dogs. We cannot stop service dogs from being in the dining room. So I'm Christina Elger, I'm the Director of Hospitality and Resident Services. We are really short on time. We only have 1 hour that the video records, so anything that's happening after this point, anyone who didn't come to the meeting won't get to see and or hear it. So for, first I have lost and found. Items that are lost and found are placed, sometimes are given to the front desk, and sometimes these items are placed in a bin in the mailroom. Some of the items that are placed at the front desk are cell phones, jewelry, odds and ends. I'm going to place those items down by coffee and cookies today after the meeting. If you can peruse those items, anything that's left after today's meeting, I will either be donating or disposing of. Let me take questions at the very end, okay? We just can't keep saving, like we have 6 months of cell phones and there's eyeglasses in there, so I'm not sure who's walking around that can't see, but your glasses. Healthy Living at the Breakers, the next presentation is going to be July 1st with Hansa Medical Group, and they're playing Beat the Heat Bingo. So if you want to come play some Beat the Heat Bingo with Hansa Medical Group, July 1st. This Thursday, I'm going to be hosting floor meetings for floors 29, 19, and 9 in the video room on the 2nd floor. Invitations to those floors already went out. Beginning in July, we're going to start outdoor games again in the courtyard. More information will come out. We'll post some signs in the elevators and signs around the community. Weather permitting, as always. So either if it's too hot, we'll try to move them inside, or if it's raining, we'll move them inside. I received several folks who wanted to be part of the email blasts. If you want to be part of that, please get me your email address. Not sure what that sounded like. If you want to be part of the email blast, get me your email address. I'm happy to include you in that. You get the email, you get the memos as they are written. You still are going to be receiving them to your door, but you just get that information a little bit sooner than the rest of the community. I had some questions this last week about emergency entry, or individuals such as the plumbers or maintenance staff entering your apartment without notice. Sometimes that does happen due to emergencies such as water intrusion, or the plumbers coming around to resolve some of those hot water issues. That is due to health and safety, so they have that permission. It's by virtue of your lease signing. As a landlord, we can enter your apartment due to health and safety. They're always going to knock. They're going to announce their entry. They're going to let you know that they're entering your apartment if we can, either by a memo, a notice. If we cannot let you know ahead of time, Before they enter, they're gonna give you as much notice, knocking on the door, letting you know that they're going to be coming in. If you have a water intrusion, we have to come in there. If it's coming from above or from a neighbor next door, you want us to come into your apartment. But we're doing the best we can to let you know we're in there. Right now, the plumbers and the maintenance team are going door to door to try and resolve some of this hot water issues. That involves them coming in and possibly replacing either a faucet in your shower, bathroom, or kitchen. If we can let you know ahead of time, we do. If we can't, we still have to enter so we can get that resolved. It may not be affecting you, but it could be affecting a neighbor. So we do need to enter. Someone had asked a question about exiting the dining room. I do have that memo written. We just have had so many memos going out these last couple weeks about exiting the dining room after each mealtime. That memo will be going out this week, giving instructions on what time to exit the dining room after breakfast, dinner, and lunchtime. I know I had some questions. Maida.
Not a question, a comment. The lost and found bucket keeps being moved over near the batteries, and that's why people can't find it. I don't know who keeps doing that.
I'm gonna label the container. I'm gonna get first of all, I'm gonna get a different container and label the container for lost and found so that the container is labeled, not the space.
Oh, good.
And or both.
Yeah, good.
Yeah.
Good.
I'll do that. Joe.
Yeah, correct me if I'm wrong, but aren't ones that are claimed to be service animals, aren't they required to have that vest with the documentation?
Not always. I mean, they are typically marked. A seeing eye dog is marked. A leader dog is marked. Yes, but not all dogs are a leader dog or a seeing eye dog. A service animal, by requirement, has to be able to do specific tasks. So a certain type of dog either has to be like a seeing eye dog. You know that dog. Other dogs are emotional dogs, so they are a different type of a dog. But they all don't have to wear that specific vest or marking.
So if they claim it's for whatever reason, that's it?
You have the credentials.
As long as they've been proven to us of the credential they have, yes, that's all we need. Yeah.
Christina, did you get my email?
Yes, about parking.
Parking?
So we've had some folks parking. If you have friends and family that park on the sidewalk as you enter the Circle Drive, please let them know. Don't park to someone who can't get by in a walker, wheelchair, standing, walking. It's very difficult. Last question so that I can make sure my other team members can go. Willie.
For the information of the gentleman over there, dogs that are provided by the government or people or seniors, any senior can have a dog. It's a federal law. But these dogs are specially trained. You have some dogs are not as trained as these are, but they're still professional dogs. When it comes to dogs, I trust them more so than I do people. Because they give unconditional love 24/7. People are not dependable. Dogs are. And if you spell dog backwards, you get God.
All right, so make sure you check the lost and found table that's going to be downstairs after today's meeting.
On the first floor?
Yes, on the first floor by the suburbs area.
Suburbs.
Yeah.
Hello, everyone. My name is Molly Rodriguez. I am the Director of Resident Programming. I'm giving you just a quick 1-minute Cliff Notes because we are over time. I am going to start by announcing those new residents that were elected to the resident board last night. So a little drum roll. So our 5 new board members, we have Nina Pilat, we have, Clarice Hearn, Maida Genser, Nancy McCarty, and Susan Lannemeyer. So, congratulations to those 5. Thank you to everybody that came out last night to the Residents Association meeting and voted for your resident board. These are the people here to represent you in our community, so proper that you all choose them.
Molly?
Yes.
The new board stand up for those of us who don't know these new members.
Maida is here. I see Nina. Susan, I think, left. Nancy's not here, and
Nancy just.
Clarice is over. Oh, Nancy's in the back there. Sorry, Nancy, I didn't see you in the back. Nancy in the purple, and Clarice over there in the blue. And Susan was over on this side. She asked a question earlier. I think she went upstairs. The one thing I will say very quickly, just since we gotta wrap this up, is you're going to be receiving a memo from me in the middle of July 16th. We are going to have a rummage sale. I know people have been asking for that for a while. With that rummage sale, read the memo, because we're actually going to have a whole week of clean out. We're going to have a rummage sale, the next day going to Goodwill to bring things from that rummage sale. Then we're having a medicine recycling day on the 18th. And then on the 19th, we're collecting shredding to go to a shredding event. So if you have personal documents you want shredded that can't fit in there is a shredding box on the second floor for residents there. But if you can't fit what you need in there, all of those things though, we are going to ask for a nominal donation towards our Walk to End Alzheimer's, just so that 10 of you don't show up with cases and cases of documents that you've been collecting your whole life and all your law paperwork and medical records. I can't take all of those shredding.
Neither can the second floor shredder. Any documents left outside of the second floor shredder will be just disposed of.
Yes.
They will, if it doesn't fit in the shredder, it will not be shredded.
So what Donna said, if you couldn't hear her, any documents left outside of the second floor shredder, it's right by the library if you haven't seen it. If you leave documents outside of the shredder, they just get thrown in the trash. You have to make sure it goes in the shredder, the shredding bin, and if the bin is full, come back next week. Maybe it gets emptied. I know there is a schedule where they get emptied, so I wouldn't leave any important documents out. But you'll be getting a memo about that. Again, congratulations to all the new board members. That is our community meeting for today, because we are over the time, but thank you all for coming out.
Molly, what did they say was downstairs?
Lost and Found. Christina's